Intuition is very, in my experience, my intuition speaks very clearly in small steps. She doesn't try to figure everything out long term either. It's not this big decision. It's not, why marry this person or do I quit my job? It's these small things. Oh, let me figure this out or let me have this conversation. It's these little, breadcrumbs that you follow that start to reveal the truth.
Hello, dear listeners. It's that time again when we stroll through the paths of ambition, desire, and success. Welcome to the Dare to Declare podcast, where we explore the enchanting world of giant manifestors who turn their visions and goals into the stuff of legends. I couldn't help but wonder, how do some people create the lives they've always dreamed of? Is it the magic of manifesting, the power of perseverance, or perhaps just a dash of serendipity? Well, dear friends, grab your coffee cups because we're about to spill the tea on fascinating journeys of those who dare to dream big and make it happen. Join me as we sip on success stories and ponder the ever-enticing question, can we all manifest our dreams into reality, or is it just an urban fairy tale? I'm your host, Debbi Sluys, and I'm here to guide you through the labyrinth of achievement with heart and soul. Ready to dare to declare? Let's get started.
Hey everyone, it's your friend here, Debbi Sluys, and I am so excited to introduce today's guest, Vanessa Ortali. And interestingly enough, she and I connected, I think when I first started my company, this is going back like 8 years ago, because she was showing up so powerfully on social media, had such a vibrancy about her that I just wanted to get to know her better. We had a call. And then it wasn't until recently that she was on a panel that we reconnected again. And I was like, ooh, I need to have you on my podcast. So I'm going to read the bio and then we'll dive in to sharing her story with you today. So Vanessa is a speaker and mentor who challenges the way ambitious women define success. She founded a 20,000 plus women international community, created sold out transformational events, and built a network of high level entrepreneurs and leaders. Her work is direct. She helps powerful women stop performing success and start living it. She speaks on major stages, appears on television, and mentors women who are ready to build from alignment instead of pressure. Welcome, Vanessa.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
For sure. So let's just start with what I noticed first. When I saw you in person, you are expecting a baby, right?
Yeah. I know, right? Especially if you're watching the video, you can only see our heads, but I am very pregnant with my second child. So she is coming in under 2 months, just over a month. So we're like getting ready. Yeah.
Nah, so good. And your other child, a boy or girl?
He's a boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's he feeling the pending
I mean,
little sister?
we had kids late, so we chose to have them pretty quick. He's only 22 months, so he's not really noticing what's happening. He obviously notices my belly, and it's harder for me to pick him up and hold him, but I'm really excited to see how they're gonna interact together.
So let's go back to with this 20,000 women international community. I remember talking to you before and you said things kind of happened by accident, which I thought was quite funny. So can you talk a bit about how things started by accident?
Yeah, I actually love this part because anytime I doubt things in the world, I always go back to this in my own life. And maybe you listening, you can think of in your life, what are things that happen by accident and were just so easy and effortless? And this was one of those things. And so all of my friends were getting married and having babies, and I was not there yet. I was living in the city and just living a very different lifestyle. But the only nudge I got at the time was I would like to meet more friends. I would like to meet more women and be really intentional about the women that I bring into my circle and create. And so I went online and at the time they had online friend apps. You were basically dating for friends. And I quickly realized, okay, I'm also dating for a partner and now I'm dating for friends. This is taking up a lot of time. And so I thought to myself, you know what? I'm just going to invite everyone I've met and am talking to online and then tell them to do the same. And the first event, we had over 100 women and it just snowballed so quickly. And within a couple of months, we were having an event every other week, and then it turned to every week. And we'd have 500 women come out to these events just wanting the same thing that I was looking for. And I just kept taking the next best step because I realized, okay, I can't spend that much time on these apps anymore. I'm just going to start a Facebook group. And when I have an event, I'll post in there. And then that way people can let each other know. And it just continued to grow. So from the Facebook group, then the events just continued to grow and the collaborations continued to grow. And then COVID hit. So things changed because we obviously couldn't have in person events anymore. So we moved to an online membership model with online events and virtual trainings. But the important thing to note too was that I also was evolving a lot through this time. So then I found a partner. I moved out of the city. And even now I'm a mom and pregnant. And the last event I had was about a year and a half ago. And it was wonderful. But I also keep tuning into what do I want this community to look like? Who am I? And how can I serve these women? So there has been a lot of pivoting and change within the community since I did start it by accident. But it has been so fun and has also been a really great resource for my business as well and supporting other entrepreneurs.
So good. You know, the lesson that just comes and pops out at me right away when you're speaking is that we are craving this. And, I don't know where the lie is. Like, and I used to have this. So I used to work in childcare and it's predominantly women. And I would say, I have 75 employees, predominantly women. And inevitably the reaction would be like, ooh.
Yes.
And I'll be like, what? What do you mean by that? And they're like, oh, that's gotta be hard. And I'm like, it isn't. Like, it's wonderful. I mean, yes, I have HR issues just like any other workplace does. And, people are at different seasons of their life, but I hire really well. And I love working with other women. Like, it's fantastic. And so what do you think about that? Also, this idea that women are catty, that, all these things that I don't know where this lie is coming from. I don't think it's coming
Yeah.
from women.
I think that's a really, really good point. And was also part of the reason I wanted different friendships because so often our friendships when we're younger are friends because of proximity. And I have noticed that a lot of times female friendships are built on gossiping, putting each other down and even supporting each other's insecurities. And I just was not there as I continued to evolve. My friendships were evolving as well. And so I do think that that can exist. However, I do think then that's a call for us to change and really look at what kind of relationships am I having? What am I contributing to these conversations? What am I perpetuating or encouraging? Because if you're participating in the gossip, if you're participating in putting other people down, that is what your relationships are going to look like. And if you continue to be intentional of the relationships you're going to create, it can be challenging at times because you may have to let some relationships go. But like you said, you hire well. So the more aware you become of the relationships you want to create, the better the circles become around you. And people will either meet you there or leave. I remember having a conversation with a friend, and she's lovely. And she was having a lot of struggles with her partner at the time. And she liked to call and just kind of complain about him. And it just didn't feel good in my body. When you're just not there and you don't want to engage in those conversations anymore. And I had said to her, well, you know what? This sounds like an amazing opportunity for you and your partner to decide what kind of relationship do you want to have and where do you want to take this and who do you want to be and how do you want to grow individually and as a partner. And maybe that was super annoying to hear at the time because I actually didn't hear from her for a long time because I don't know that she was ready to hear it. But since then, things have evolved and our relationship has evolved. And it was a really beautiful opportunity for me to step up in the friendship and to attract different people. But honestly, I do have a lot to say about this topic because it's not just friendships. Like you said, it's career. And I have seen having that many women, there have been situations for sure. I really want to encourage women to realize that so many of our relationships and the things that we seek are we want because we're not giving them to ourselves. So I remember asking the
Can you say
community.
that again? That's really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, so many things that we seek, we want outside of ourselves because we're not giving them to ourselves.
Mm.
And so we seek relationships and friendships that, quite frankly, I believe are unrealistic. And let me give you an example. One of the things I remember asking the women, what are you most looking for in friendships and in your neck and your connections that you're making at these events? And people said loyalty.
Hmm.
And I was really interested with that word. And I thought, well, words are hold different meanings to different people. What does loyalty mean to you? And they all said, well, when I'm in a bad mood, I want to be able to call someone and they make me feel better. I want to be able to have a friend that drops everything for me. I'm going, is that really what you need? Because I don't think I'm not, well, okay, if it's really serious, I'll be there. Don't get me wrong. I'm a good friend, but I'm not the type of person that's going to supplement what you're supposed to be doing for yourself.
Right.
So, where are you in this equation? Why is the first person you're calling to make you feel better somebody else? How are you making yourself feel better? How are you showing up in your life and in your relationships? And I just thought that was so fascinating because they put so much pressure outside of themselves, whether it be romantic or friendship, and they're not actually showing up for themselves the way they expect other people to show up for them.
So good. This is oh, I love it. It, makes me think about Mel Robbins' book, Let Them. And she's got 3 chapters dedicated to friendship. And one of the things, oh, I forget what she calls it, but it's like after high school or after college, it's like the scattering. I think that's what she calls it, the scattering. I didn't even know there was a term for it. And nobody prepared me for that. Where it's like you have different seasons with friendship. And if we stay where we were in grade 2, where you meet a little friend on the playground and go, "Do you wanna be my friend?" And that you think that person's gonna be in your life forever, be in your wedding parties and, like, have babies together and all the things, that's not realistic. Um, and as you said, you grow and change and all the things. So, um, yeah, I love this conversation and this idea of loyalty, that loyal to yourself first, about taking full responsibility for your own actions, your own behaviors, makes me think about venting. So this was it was like for a little while, people promoted venting as therapeutic. Like, I just need to vent. And it would be like they'd spew all of this toxic, negative energy everywhere. And everybody was doing it. And everybody was like, yeah. So it's just like this whole, we're going to vent to one another and then feel better. You don't feel better.
No.
And certainly not if that becomes the norm, that we just vent and vent and vent. And when I'm thinking about your friend venting about her husband, what you challenged her to do was, and now what? Like, acknowledging feelings, getting them out, expressing them is one thing. But then, as you beautifully expressed there, like what you said was, and this is an opportunity. I love that word, by the way. So yeah, really, really great. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think oppor every experience is an opportunity for us to go deeper. And if you're really craving deeper friendships and you're craving that, then encourage yourselves to go there. Venting, I can have a little bit of a benefit depending on how long it happens and how
Right,
frequently.
right.
Right? And so if you're seeking validation, then you can say that too, or even how you position the venting. Sometimes when things are happening in my life, I wanna make sure I'm seeing it clearly. So I'll maybe chat with a friend, "Hey, this is what's going on. This is what's coming up for me and triggering me. Am I seeing this properly? Is there another perspective I can look at this situation and another lens I can look at this situation with? Please tell me if I'm crazy here." But then again, our triggers that trigger us to vent are an opportunity for us to look deeper. I love triggers. I love when my clients have triggers. When they tell me they had a bad day, tell me more because it's in the trigger that you know what patterns are you living out? What stories are you creating in your head that are making you go down that pathway of needing to vent and it bothering you, right? I really seek in my own inner peace, I seek neutrality. And I truly believe that when we are neutral, that's when our intuition can be strongest because your intuition is neutral. When you get a little intuitive hit, there's no pressure and anger or ego and resentment. And this is where I I believe this neutrality is really important to get the a really really deep understanding of what it feels like in your body because so many of our beliefs, our patterns, our habits, and our desires are rooted in fear and are rooted in insecurity and our triggers. And if we don't ever challenge that and really look at, okay, where is this coming from? We will consistently confuse our intuition for fear
Hmm.
because fear speaks. Whenever I talk to my clients and they're going, oh, this doesn't feel right, I really challenge them.
Right.
What doesn't feel right? Tell me more. Is it neutral? Or is it something that feels heavy? Is there resistance? Is there fear underneath? And so often our fear and insecurities, it's not just in our career, it's our relationships, it's everything. And that's why I think that changing those conversations and being really intentional about what you say and the words that you use, they hold so much weight. The more you can question them, the more we can continue to evolve as women and as people.
Hmm. That is your superpower, right?
Yes,
Is
yes.
that. So for me, I used to love my comfort zone. Like that's where I actually thought that was neutral for me, was the comfort zone. Like being where I practiced, I've accomplished, and this is where I'm going to be, and I can help the most people. And then as I was doing more personal development work, I was like, oh, actually, the joy, the adventure is outside of that, but there's fear that shows up. And so, how do you know the difference between the fear that is detrimental and the feeling away about it because you're stretching and growing, like a growing pain versus fear? Like, how do you know the difference?
Yeah, I would recommend if you're struggling with that feeling, you never have to figure it out right away. The struggle is when people think, "Oh, I have to figure this out. What is this? What is this?" I really encourage people in order to figure out the difference, you need to be still. You need to give yourself some time and space and being really curious. Curiosity is my favorite thing in the world, in everything, relationships and business. Oh, this is interesting. I'm feeling some sort of way here. What is this? And just get really curious, not to judge it, not to think that there's anything wrong with it or that you have to do anything about it. It's just a simple question. Oh, this is cool. Something's coming up for me to hear, for me to pay attention to. What is this? And just keep talking to it, asking it questions. How is this feeling? Is this coming from fear? What am I scared of? Is this something that is trying to stop me and doesn't actually feel good? But again, there's neutrality in that too. If something doesn't feel good moving forward, Ah, there isn't this how do I describe it? There isn't this hesitation. There's not this, "No, no, no, I can't." It's just, "Oh, it doesn't feel good." Like, it period, end of story. There's not this additional story that we attach to it to make it bigger than it is. It's just a simple no.
Hmm.
Period, right? And when there's fear, it's a lot more there's a snowball effect. There's a lot more at play that that your brain tries to convince yourself that it's fear. So it
Right.
becomes more convoluted and confusing. Intuition is very in my experience, my intuition speaks very clearly in small steps. She doesn't try to figure everything out long term either. It's not this big decision. It's not, do I marry this person or do I quit my job? It's these small things. Oh, let me figure this out or let me have this conversation. It's these little, breadcrumbs that you follow that start to reveal the truth.
That's so helpful. Oh, so good. So, you are not just speaking from theory. You had a situation where I believe you had, I think where I saw that you had lost, yeah, 80,000,
Oh, yes.
right?
Yeah.
So that would make anyone want to throw up,
Yeah.
vent, all the things. Can you describe how you got through that?
It was really painful at the time. I've had a lot of pain in my life. I'm not sitting there here and it drives me nuts when people say, "Oh, well, I don't think nuts is the right word, but it makes me laugh when people say, "Oh, the world isn't all rainbows and butterflies." And I was like, "Get over it." I've had a lot of pain. I lost my mom at 18. I've had a lot of, family drama and relationships and all those things just like everybody else does. I was at one point I didn't know how I was going to pay my mortgage and I had a lot of financial struggle. And this came at a time on the backs of that. And so I had hired someone to create an app for me, paid him upfront, not the whole amount. This was in a couple payments. And he took the money and was never paying the developers to actually develop the app. And I didn't find out till later. So, hence why $80,000 got invested into it. And if we keep looking at the next steps, you know, even when I put my deposit, my first $20,000, I was still asking questions like, what's going on here? Why am I not seeing all these things? And I would get just enough, right? But he wasn't paying the developers and he would tell me, "Oh, well, we need to, it's taking more time. We need additional cash flow." And anyways, long story short, it was a really challenging time. Even when I said, "Okay, something's not right here. I'm not paying you another dime until I see this entire app." The whole app was supposed to cost at the time, I think about 120. And I said, "I'm not just not giving you any other money." And so this was a really great CEO moment for me, but also then following that up and having to go to court and press, and file was very stressful. But looking back, and this is just the type of person I am really, really grateful because it made me look at money different
Mm.
because at the end of the day, who cares? It's $80,000. After that, I had the best year and I was having $50,000 months from my clients. What is money? It's just a currency. It comes and goes. And the wealthiest people I know, they will spend 200,000, 400,000, and like that. And
Mhm.
then it just continues to flow. So it taught me a lot about money and my money mindset. And even just showing up in court, and it was very fascinating to see the triggers inside of me. And if we come back to the word opportunities, I truly, truly believe in everything in my life, every date I've ever been on, every business struggle, every every trigger has been an opportunity for me to show up as my best self. And that's what I would do every time I walked into court. And at the time it was on virtual. I would step in the room virtually, and my goal was I will not give my power away to this person. And I'm going to stand so true to who I am and continue to feel my inner peace. And that was my only goal. And when I walked away, I thought, okay, how did I feel? Was I me? Was I my best self? And that was my goal. I didn't even care what happened or if I got any money back. I just wanted to continue to let that experience help me to transform.
Wow.
And yeah, and so now it's just a story that I have in my life. And I still love the app that I was gonna develop. Maybe I'll develop it one day. But yeah, that's what happened there.
Thank you for sharing that. And it does bring this home because we're talking about some things that people might exactly that. Think, oh, positive thinking and everything's fine. No, it is a practice. And I love where you said you set the intention, and you disciplined yourself to say, I am her, and you showed up as her, let go of what wasn't serving you, and took the opportunities. So you talk also about three phases of self-awareness. Um, uh, do you have those off the top of your head, or
Yeah, I
can you
totally
remind me
do.
of that? Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
great.
I know exactly what you're referring to.
Okay.
Um, so what I've noticed with my clients and myself, maybe you can see yourself in this as well. I've noticed that as we grow and we want to take on more self-development and we realize, hey, there's something more to life. I have noticed three different phases. The first phase is this ignorance is bliss. Life is good. I love life. This is great. But you have this little nudge that you're made for something more or something is calling you or you're noticing misalignments in who you want to show up as and the person that you want to be. And then you move into the second phase, which is, you know what? I need to go there. I want to go more into self-development. I want to realize what are my triggers? What is holding me back? What past patterns are keeping me where I am today? And that's when we start to seek coaches, books, podcasts, all these different fun tools to help us to learn about ourselves and grow. And this phase is lovely, and I've noticed a lot of people get stuck here because there's the third phase that I don't think enough people talk about because not enough people profit from it. And the third phase is actually letting go of all of the tools that you've ever used and just being her. Be her, be present in the moment, this full embodiment and trust that you have learned what you need to know. And we're always growing and evolving, yes. However, you know what you need to know. And now it's time to stop reading the books, listening to the podcast. You know enough. You have to be it and embody it. Stop thinking that the answers are outside of you. You have to become her in every single moment of every single day. And when you are her, I've really noticed, I used to meditate when I was in my awakening phase, phase 2. I had the time and luxury at that time to meditate for hours a day and journal and spend so much time in reflection. However, now I can literally get to the same point in my meditation with a deep breath. I don't need the full hour. I just breathe and I know, right? And the visual that always comes to me, which is funny because I'm actually not a runner, but if I were to run a marathon, I feel like this would be what I would have to do. I would have to go to a running store, find shoes, you know, I would do a running class and they would teach me my mechanics of running. So I would make sure I would run properly and how to breathe properly and proper nutrition. But once you know all the information and you actually just get to the point of running the marathon, you're not thinking about all those lessons. You're just running and you're completely embodying everything that you've known and learned because you've practiced it. And that's where I think the beauty is. And I see myself living in that right now. There's so much freedom and so much simplicity. It's simple. I don't have these huge morning routines anymore or these things to bring me into alignment. I'm just her in everything that I do. And everything becomes an opportunity to be her. Drinking water, having tea, getting dressed in the morning. It just becomes who you are.
Right. And you have a little one outside your body and you have one in your body. So life, we have different seasons.
Yeah.
When you said that about hours of meditation, I'm like, hey, you're lucky if you have alone time in the bathroom now.
Exactly. Yes.
Have power. You
Yes.
have another little being relying on you for his physical needs and emotional. So I'm curious, as a young mom, a new mom, and what is it that you have taken from your personal development and take it into motherhood, being a mom? Because the things,
Yeah.
simplicity, being present, all those things, immediately when you were saying that, I was like, oh yeah, I can see that as a parent.
Yeah, it's honestly changed everything for me, and it's so cool. especially when my friends who are older and or just had kids younger, they always say, "Oh, man, I wish I could have a kid at this age. What would that be like?" And I have to admit it does feel different, right? I'm turning 40 and it does feel different. My partner and I are so much more calm and patient, and the way that we speak to him about his emotions, about what he's feeling, it's completely different. I don't get frazzled when he's having emotions. I speak to him the way I spoke to my inner child when I was healing.
Oh, say that again. Say that again.
I speak to him like I spoke to my inner child when I was healing. With the same curiosity and love, like and if you are in your healing journey right now, remember that your inner child is just that. Speak to your inner child like you would speak to your child
Mhm.
with this innocence of, "I can feel that you're hurt right now. How does that feel?" And when I work with my clients and we reprogram our thoughts and our patterns, it is that. We're speaking with so much kindness and love. Tell me, "Oh, I know I'm noticing that you're feeling something right now. This is so exciting. Tell me more. What are you feeling? Where is this coming from? How can I support you? What would we like to feel right now?" That simplicity is really beautiful. And also just helping him manage his emotions. Like when he gets frustrated, I've taught him, "Okay, let's take a deep breath and let's count to 10 and see how we feel after that." And it's really neat when I see him reflecting it back to me because at 22 months this morning, I was going to the washroom and he came over and he just went, "Deep breath," and took a deep breath. And I was like, "That's so beautiful." And then proceeded to teach all of his stuffed animals how to take deep breaths.
Ah,
Like, that's great. So
awesome.
yeah, but it also shows me something that's really important, and I was actually asked this on the panel at the event that you came to, and someone asked, "Well, what is your greatest manifestation?"
Mm.
And the answer that was just so true to me, and I see through my child, is my greatest manifestation is me. Because I see the person that I am when I show up for my kid and how I'm able to show up for him differently, that none of the other stuff matters. Sure, it's fun, all the business stuff and accolades and being on TV and your celebrity clients are fun, but you also get to a point where it doesn't matter because you are the most important thing and how you feel every single day is the most important manifestation that you will ever create.
Oh, that is so full circle. Talking about the work that I do with vision boards to help people manifest, and it's all about their self image, which is why I have them put a photo of themselves in the center of the board. And so, but I've never heard anyone articulate it that way here on the podcast that your greatest manifestation is you, because it is all about the best version of you.
Yeah.
And then the ripple effect is this legacy that you're creating because the quote where people don't and your children, right? They don't listen to what you say. It's what you do. And so you're role modeling by being that person. Our children are in your essence, in your energy, modeling what you're doing. And I love that for you and for him. Uh, and I love that he's teaching it to his stuffed animals. I can see it. It's so beautiful, so
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
he's going to be able to do that with his little sister too, which
I
is
know, right? I'm like, "You're gonna have to teach her everything."
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm curious, who was that for you? Did you have someone in your life that was supporting little Vanessa, that you had a model? Did you have that, whether it was in your family or outside, a teacher or someone
Yeah.
in your life?
Um, so I had a lot of mentors growing up that I sought out. Like I had mentioned before when I said I have had a lot of pain in my life, I lost my mom when I was 18
Yes.
to breast cancer. And on her breast cancer and healing journey, she would seek out different people, counselors, Reiki practitioners, all these things, and she never wanted to go by herself to these healing circles and sound baths. And so I would go with her.
Ah,
And so I was probably, 13, 14 at the time. And that's how I started to get introduced to different healing modalities. And it just kind of changed the way I thought and looked at the world. And then so as I continued to grow, I had different counselors, and after my mom passed, I did go to counseling. So those all of those people were different cornerstones that really helped me to continue to learn. Now, one thing I also want to add that some of those mentors, just like friends, were in particular seasons, and you also grow out of your mentors. And they were great at that time. And then I just continued to evolve, and the right mentors would come into my life depending on what I needed at the time. And so, yes, I have had many.
Yeah.
um, yeah.
What a gift that your mom gave to you, whether it was knowing or just, you know, that she wanted company, but what a gift to you as a young teen and to support you as you prepared to lose your mom, knowing that it was, did you know it was terminal?
Well, not really. She had cancer twice. So she originally had cancer when she was 32 only, and then went into remission and then got it back. And eventually, she did pass at 45. So she was very young on her cancer
Mhm.
journey.
Wow.
I didn't know it was terminal until probably, yeah, I mean, the last year was bad. I was in university and it was bad. And I remember getting a call in university saying, "You got to come home. Your mom has 30 days to live."
Wow.
Um, and so that was a lot at the time. But yeah, but it was also weird because when I got the call, again, coming back to intuition and this inner knowing, I truly believe we all just know. I didn't feel panicked at the time. I knew. Even though it was never said that it was terminal, I had this like, "Oh, okay," this knowing. And I remember even when I was going through my healing journey as well, and I had a mentor say to me, "Would you how does it feel if I said to you that your soul always knew you were gonna lose your mom?" And that was um an experience that you were willing to have in order to become the person you were meant to be in this life? I'm like, "Yeah, I can accept that."
Wow.
I can accept that, and also now, because it's been over 20 years, I'm so grateful for the experience, and I never thought I'd get to that point where I could be truly, truly grateful for that experience, even though I miss her, especially being pregnant and with little kids. I'm still very grateful because it's made me who I am today.
True, true. And knowing that your mom is what watching you as
Right.
you parent now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you work now, like you said, you were not, do you still have the community and you do one-on-one?
I do. So I still have the community, but it is a little dormant right now because I do feel a shift. I feel a shift again. We're going to pivot. I'm not really sure what that's going to look like, especially because the women in the community are changing and evolving, and the what I want to provide is changing and evolving. I truly believe that we've kind of alluded to this in this conversation. I truly believe that everybody has the answers within them, and we don't need all this other stuff. And I really want to just continue to create experiences for the women that encourage them to go inward and find the answers within themselves. And I'm getting more clarity on what that looks like. But so we'll see over the next couple of years what that will look like. But we will pivot. And then I still do yes, my one-on-one coaching as well.
You know, when you said that, the image that came to mind right away is going back to the original group that you pulled together by accident,
Yeah.
where there isn't a set agenda. There isn't, it's like, no, you have the answers within. We just need to gather
Yeah.
and support one another. Yes, facilitated and so forth, but the simplicity of that. So I
Yes.
just feel that beautiful energy.
Cool.
So, how can people get a hold of you if they want to work with you and find out more about what you're up to?
Yeah, you can go to my website, vanessaortali.com, or on all of the social media platforms. My handle is I am Vanessa O. So I am Vanessa O. And send me a message, send me a DM. Let me know, even if you don't want to work together, let me know how this conversation landed for you or how it resonated. I'd love to just continue a conversation with you and let me know where you're at. I really enjoy building connection with women in particular because I do think the most powerful thing is for us to be our best selves and support each other on that journey. I want people to succeed and I want them to have everything they could ever imagine. And so I'm really, really happy seeing other women succeed. So tell me about your successes and where you are.
For sure. I love that invitation. So, for those of you who are listening, please take Vanessa up on her offer there to reach out to her, DM her. If you've been on this side of the mic, like where Vanessa's sitting and where I'm sitting, having that kind of feedback, knowing that people that are listening are getting some value. So, share questions, but even just some feedback. What you pulled from today's talk would be fabulous. That would just be really, really lovely. So, Vanessa, any final words before we conclude today?
I don't think so. It's been such a fun conversation. I do also want to encourage people to leave a review for you in your podcast. So if you like this conversation, let Debbie know. And yeah, I just want to remind you that, like we just said, you have all of the answers within you, and just take it slow, one step at a time. Keep taking your next step and trust yourself, because you're amazing and you don't need to doubt yourself. Once you let the doubt creep in, everything becomes more complicated. So, yeah, that's really it.
Wise words. Thank you so much for being here, Vanessa. I've really enjoyed this conversation and you trusting me to sort of see where it went and sharing your personal stories. I so appreciate that. And for the listener, don't forget to dare to declare. Today, we've delved into the realm of manifesting giants, exploring the power of declaring our desires to the universe with unapologetic boldness. But before we bid adieu, I have a little something special to share with all of you dreamers out there. Introducing the Dare to Declare Vision Board magazine and online DIY Vision Board course, your ticket to manifesting greatness in style. Picture this: flipping through pages filled with inspiring images, empowering quotes, and step-by-step guides to help you create the vision board of your dreams. Whether you're yearning for that spacious condo with a view or a love that sets your soul on fire, our magazine is here to guide you every step of the way. Dive deep into the art of manifesting with our exclusive online DIY vision board course. Led by manifesting expert, yes, yours truly, and seasoned dreamers. This course will teach you the ins and outs of creating a vision board that speaks to your heart and soul. So what are you waiting for? Join the ranks of the manifesting giants and dare to declare your wildest dreams to the universe. Head over to our website, debbisluys.com, and grab your copy of the Dare to Declare Vision Board magazine and enroll in our online DIY Vision Board course today. Until next time, keep dreaming big and daring to declare, because in the world of manifesting, the sky's the limit.